Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa Siegel. I'm a professor of migration studies, and this is a channel about all things migration. So we're going to continue today with our migration country case study series looking at India. And in my previous videos, I have looked at the migration history of India, and I've looked at the migration governance and policy also in India. And now I'm going to talk about the current situation of migration. So, of course, if you're interested in those other videos, you can check them out right here. I'll also link them in the description below. So let's talk about India. India is a very populous country with currently 1.38 billion people in the country. So of course that means that even a small proportion of Indian migration is going to translate into a lot of people. And India has had a very diverse migration history over time, and we do currently see people, at least from Indian origin, all over the world. And again, of course, if you're interested to learn more about that, check out my video on the history of Indian migration. Where are most of the immigrants coming from that are currently based in India? Well, as of 2019, the top 5 countries of origin for immigrants in India were Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and China. And then, of course, other groups. So of course you can already see that a lot of the migration to India is from other countries in the region, which makes a lot of sense. People do migrate to India both for forced and non-forced reasons, but there's plenty of labor migration also to India, as well as student migration. Now, if we look at where Indian immigrants are in the rest of the world, here you can see a map that shows also proportional representation of where Indian migrants are. And you can see they're very much located in the Gulf states, in Europe, in North America, and also in other South Asian and Southeast Asian countries, as well as in Australia. So according to the Indian government, there are currently a bit more than 32 million overseas immigrants, and this is made up of non-resident Indians, or NRIs, and persons of Indian origin, or PIOs. These are 2 different distinctive categories that the Indian government has. There are a bit more than 13 million non-resident Indians currently, and a bit more than 18 million persons of Indian origin. There are, of course, countries that are hosting the largest number of Indians abroad today, and those are first the United Arab Emirates with 3.5 million people, the United States with 2.7 million people, Saudi Arabia with 2.5 million people, and of course there are a number of others you can think of that have large numbers of Indian migrants, like Australia, Canada, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Pakistan, the UK, and Northern Ireland. And here you can also see the top 15 countries hosting Indian migrant populations as of 2019. And we have the United Arab Emirates coming in the top place, followed by the United States, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Oman, Kuwait, the UK, Canada, Qatar, Australia, Nepal, Bahrain, Italy, Malaysia, and Singapore. And there are very different types of immigrant groups here. So the immigrants that are based more in the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia and Oman and Kuwait and Qatar and Bahrain are often more low-skilled immigrants, working in the construction sector and in other sectors. They're generally not going to be staying for very long periods of time. They will be shorter term migrants in these countries, whereas in the United States or Canada or the UK, we do see a different type of migration. So particularly to the United States or Canada, it's more highly skilled migration, and we do see more permanency in this migration. So longer term migration, often migration that settles in these countries, also perhaps brings their family members along, and that's different than migration to the Gulf cooperation countries. Now, remittances, or the money that migrants send back to their families and communities, are also quite important in India, particularly for the households and communities that receive them. And here you can see the amount of remittances in billions of US dollars between 2010 and 2020. India is the largest recipient of remittances around the world currently. And of course, this has been also an issue with COVID-19. We're still waiting to see how this is all going to work out. Now, while remittances are extremely high in absolute terms, they're not as high as a percentage of GDP because India is a large country with higher levels of GDP. But of course, remittance is still very important for the families and households that are receiving them. If you want to learn more about remittances, what they are in general, where they're coming from, where they're going in the rest of the world, you can check out also my videos on that. I'll put them here and link them in the description below. Now let's look at the top 3 remittance sending countries to India. And these, of course, are the top countries also that have migrants. From India, they are the United Arab Emirates, the United States, and Saudi Arabia. We can also see here the situation of IDPs, or internally displaced persons, in India. And these are new displacements per year. You can see the difference also between displacement because of conflict, which has been quite low, compared to displacement because of natural disasters, which has been much higher. India has the highest level of natural disaster displacement in South Asia in absolute terms, and it is consistently one of the highest in the world in general for internal displacement because of disasters. On average, around 3.6 million people a year were displaced between 2008 and 2019, and the majority of these were displaced because of flooding during the monsoon. So really environmentally related reasons why people are displaced. Now, that is the current situation of migration in India today. Again, if you would like to learn a little bit more about the migration, for instance, to the Gulf states or to Canada or the UK or the United States, with regard to the history of that migration, and also how a lot of the colonial ties with United Kingdom also was important for migration patterns even today. You can check out the video that talks about that in the history of migration. Otherwise, I hope this video was useful for you. If it was, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and feel free to, of course, share the video around. Please do hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss my videos every week that I do upload on migration every week. So I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.